All right, let me make this just a little bigger. I think I am anyway. All right. Welcome back, man, to the We Need to Talk About It podcast. We need to talk.
Yes, we do.
But before we do, I guess we got to talk about ourselves just a little bit. Getting started. So I am obviously one of your hosts, Rod, and this is my lovely wife, Ariel. Yeah, stole it. No, but go ahead, introduce yourself. Let the people hear your voice. Let the people hear your voice.
I am Ariel.
There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. So the We Need to Talk About It podcast is a podcast about marriage, about relationships, about communication, which is the key, about, fun things, marriage, serious things, marriage, just conversations between the two of us and maybe between other couples as we go along, just talking about some of the things that go on in married life and how to overcome them, how to enjoy them, how to live through them or in them. I guess.
Yeah. Just celebrating marriage.
Yeah. So in this episode, we need to talk about what you don't know about marriage or what you may not know, I guess, about marriage. And some of you guys that are new probably have no idea, but you guys that are in it are like, oof, man.
Yeah.
Right. So what is one of the things that we don't know or people don't know about marriage?
There's so many things. I would say just like right off the bat, number one, especially if you didn't live together before you got married, what you don't know is just that person's, like how crazy it's going to be to figure out, how to, do chores or figure out just how to live with someone, like how just challenging it is to actually live with someone and do like the business in. So that I would say that what most people don't know is that marriage is a business.
That's true.
There's business transactions. I mean, realistically, right?
Right. Yeah, I would agree. I often say, like on my fatherhood stuff, is that your family is like your business, and you're a fatherpreneur, or you're like the CEO of your family. And I would agree that in a marriage, we are business partners. Yeah. Because we have to take care of the house. We have to take care of the kids. Yeah. There's the financial piece. There's what I like to say is marketing, right? We got to sell our ideas to our kids. I got to sell my ideas to you. I got to get you to buy in. There's the products, right? Like we want to produce a happy and healthy relationship. Yeah. And so there's work that goes into producing that.
Yeah. You have to have goals and timelines.
There's project management, right? Like
there's a house manager, a program manager. Like
there's all these, there's a CFO, right? Somebody's got to be in charge of the finances and there's all these things that go into it. So yeah. And I think people see marriage, and I'm going to keep ragging on rom-coms, but you see this marriage and it's like this happy, everybody's in love and everything is perfect. And then you get married and like, okay, it's still that, right? Don't get me wrong. It's still that, but there is the other side of the pillow, right?
Right. The stuff people don't talk about.
Yeah, nobody
tells.
We're
talking about the lovey-dovey. Oh, so cute.
Oh man, the love of my life.
Right.
And, it just really completes me and makes me feel.
Yeah, but it's like they don't make the bed. They leave their socks on the floor.
Whoa. We're talking about the business stuff, right? First of all,
I'm saying chores to me is business, or they're have poor money management, which we talked about before in one of our episodes, but or, like, man, I feel like we were talking about this with some friends one time, like typically, right? Unfortunately, some people enter into marriage and then they automatically assign one person as program manager or house project manager. And it's like, no, you all are responsible. Even if, you have, one that works, one that doesn't work, or both works, or one's, if you are very heavy into, normal gender kind of standards or roles, then it's like automatically people get assigned certain duties. And it's like, anyway, that's a whole other conversation another time. But the point is that you're managed. Someone does have to manage stuff.
Right. And I think you can kind of delegate or between the two of you can iron out who's better at certain things.
Right. That's what we do, which we can talk about.
Because just to say that you are like, I am responsible for taking out the garbage, just as a very, very remedial like thing. If I sucked at it though, would you want me to be responsible for it?
No, but then,
you know what I mean? Like, is it like, would that be a smart idea for us? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just going to accept the gender roles and like, yo, you take out the trash. But every time I take out the trash, I spill it on the floor all the way out the front of the house. And I'm like, oh, my bad. I didn't see it. Do you want me to still take out the trash?
Right. But are you spilling it on purpose so you don't have to take it out?
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, well, we'll talk deeper probably about
gender roles and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure one day. Yeah, because you know how I feel. But back to the fun. Okay, so I guess it's fun. This might be
I think it's fun for
shattering.
us. Yeah, it might be crushing people.
Just the realization might be traumatizing for some. But okay, so I said that. So what
I think one of the things, and this might not be that people don't tell you, but I don't think that you think about, right? And for us, it's a little different because we kind of grew into marriage together.
Right.
And some people like meet and fall in love and then get married within a year. But you got to share. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like you get married. Selfish. You get married and you're like, oh, we became one, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't really tell you what that means. Mm-hmm. Like not just do you share your bed and you share your home, you share responsibilities, you share your heart, you share your thoughts, you share like all these things. It's you still get to be yourself. But even in being yourself, there's some part of you that needs to be shared with the other person. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think when you're getting married, it's like, okay, I've been in a relationship with you. We've been dating, right? And it's going to still be that way, right? I lived in my apartment. You live in your apartment. Only difference is now we're going to put our apartments together. And I'm still going to do my thing, and you're still going to do yeah. But it doesn't really work that way, right? Like we can still have our separate things that we do with our friends and our family or whatever. But it's not like, all right, I'm going to work today and I'll be back at like 9 because me and the boys are going to, we're going to go to happy hour and then, we're going to go hoop today. And then I saw this new thing I want to go check out. Like you can definitely do those things.
It's not sustainable.
But on a repeat basis, it's gonna get old really fast. Mm-hmm. And that's not what you do in a relationship. And I think a lot of times guys probably more so than women, get into marriage and go, I got to be me.
Right. You're not going to change me.
Right. She know who she married. I'm like, yeah, but do you know who you married?
Right.
She might split on you if you keep acting like this.
Yeah. Or even if the person doesn't do that, right? Because there's a lot of people who just stay and put up with anything, but it's just like, are you sharing fully who you are? Is your marriage the best it could actually be? Right. So are you integrating things together and sharing things together?
Right. Yeah. And sharing not only your past and your present, but also your future. Because who you want to become, you have to share that with your partner and they have to be a part of that journey.
Yeah.
Right. Deciding that you want to do something, be something, become something without first including your partner and sharing that dream with them is going to be more difficult. Not that you can't do it. But it's going to be more difficult if the person that's closest to you is not able to support you in that.
Right, right.
And it may not be something that aligns in the moment with what you guys are doing. And if you're just trying to like, I'm going to go, I don't know, and do something different. There definitely has to be some sharing of thoughts and feelings going into that. Yeah. And you should be able to share. She should be able to share what she feels with you, and you should be able to share. And then you kind of find some common ground and where you can stand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to be honest. I really thought that you were talking about sharing things like as if we were kids because
yeah, no, I am too.
I mean, you are, but you got deep with it. And what you said is totally true. But I was just thinking about little moments where I'm like, I get a chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, dog.
And I just want the whole thing to myself. But I'm like, man,
I didn't want to be petty.
It would be horrible if I didn't share this.
I didn't want to be petty. But so here's what you do, fellas, in that situation, because it's gonna happen, right? Like it already is happening to you. You go to the movies, you go out to eat. She don't want nothing. She's not that hungry. She's just gonna get an appetizer, right? And we all know what that means. That means she's gonna eat off of our plate.
Just do it.
For your own sake and your own sanity, you are going to have to let her eat off the plate. You cannot smack her hand and be like, those are my fries. That's not going to work. You got to share your fries. You are going to have to share everything. For whatever reason, they will not order their own food unless they order something that you don't want at all, right? Like they just know that you ain't going to eat it. They'll order that and they won't share it at all.
Whatever. Anyway.
Or they'll buy a cookie and they'll eat the whole thing and then buy another one and split that one with you. And split it with you, though. Split the second cookie after they ate the full cookie themselves. Like, yo, I got a cookie for us.
You got to hide the evidence. And then,
it's like that with kids too.
Yeah, yes.
Like, yo, you got to sneak snacks around here.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, no, it was funny because I was really thinking like you were talking about basic sharing, but all sharing. You're sharing everything.
Yeah.
Even like the most, this is interesting actually. You won't know. So if you're married and you choose to end up having children, one of the things that it's important for you to be prepared for is that your partner, after giving birth, there's a lot of like openness and vulnerability that has to happen with like all parts of your body, because your partner might have to help you clean up or help you clean yourself, like help, just help you out after giving birth, because it's a rough experience on the body.
Okay.
You look like terrified. You know what I mean? Like
I was basically a doctor, so I'm good. I was in there. I was in there. I get to see it all.
But I think that some people aren't ready for that. And it was funny because some girlfriends and I were just talking about like, man, you guys did a great job. Like, I don't know if I could have done that and just been all up in there helping you out and then doing it for multiple days and seeing all the stuff. But you guys are amazing. The ones that stay and do it.
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do.
So, but anyway, back to just being, you got to share, you're going to share a lot in the history and the course of your.
Right. And you got to be willing to. I think that's probably the biggest thing. You got to be willing to share those experiences and those things. And your cookie.
Bonding.
And your cookie. You got to be willing to share your cookie. And be selfish.
Yes, can't be selfish. So if you're someone who is usually selfish, if you decide to get married, you will be sharing everything.
Yes.
For the most part.
Okay. Your turn.
No, you did.
You just said cookie.
I can't think of, okay. Oh gosh, what else don't they tell you? This is a huge one that I hear all the time. And I just think people need to be realistic about life. Mm-hmm. You will not have sex every day. Regularly.
What?
There might be periods.
We got married so we can have sex. What do you mean we're not having sex every day?
You may have sex every day for a period or a stage here and there, but just realistically, you're not having sex every day. I mean, first of all, I always think of that as odd that people act like that's so devastating. And then only because when you're single, are you really having sex every single day? No, you're not. So like, why are you acting like it's impossible? I have no idea. Is that just like
you do, but you don't really? Like you don't want to put in all the work to find someone. Like stop it.
Oh, the work to find someone. But no, I think people think like because you have someone, it should just be automatic. Okay, we're having sex every day. There's no work in their minds, right?
It's just selfish.
It's selfish, and it's not realistic. Because even on the either side, right? One, things could happen in terms, so many things, like you're really busy, or you have new kids, or you have just crazy off schedules where there might be a stage in your marriage where you're barely seeing your partner. You know what I mean? Like, or just someone gets sick, or
if you're in the military, right?
If you're in the military,
and I get deployed,
yeah.
I'm like, yo, what happened? We're supposed to be having sex every day,
right?
That's it. I'm going somewhere else. This relationship is over. You lied to me.
Or whatever. People, someone can fall into a depression. Someone can just stuff happens. There could be stress and strain in your relationship. You could lose a parent, right? And like, now you're grieving, or you think like, no, I'm sex with you every day. I'm like working all day, taking care of the kids and just trying to keep them crying, right? Like it's
you gotta figure out how to plan that in. You see, you're not scheduling right. You're not managing your minutes correctly. For 15, look, we can make it quick. We'll go for like 5 minutes, and then that's all you. And then you can get back to being like grieving.
No,
that's not how it works.
No,
that's what they think. I'm telling you, that's what people think.
And that
put
is
it, compartmentalize it, put it on the shelf for a second, and then let's do our thing.
But it could, and then that's the other thing. It could happen to you. So the person who has like a high libido or whatever, yours could drop. Something could happen. You could have to take medication and could drop. Things happen in life. So you have to know, right? Like that when you get married, people make it sound horrible, but it's not, right? Because it's about the intimacy, the connection. Those are things that you won't understand until you enter into a marriage or a relation or a serious long-term relationship. That there's so many things that are more meaningful and can help with the connection and intimacy than the actual act of sex, right? And so, this is coming from my perspective. I can't even speak right now. Perspective. And then you can share some of your thoughts on it. But mostly I'm saying it's okay if there's some changes, right? Because you also will go through seasons where you are, and multiple times a day. Like that's also possible. A lot of married people are having, sex multiple times a day and all of that kind of stuff, right? When you're really fully connected or not, you don't have to be fully connected, but even if you just having sex every day, like that's just, everything's good. Everything's chill, right?
Yeah.
Or things are bad and people like to have makeup sex and all that kind of stuff. Whatever your thing is.
Right.
There are going to be times where you are, and then there might be points and times where you're not. But then that's when the conversations and the this and that, and what are we going to do? Or how can we spice things up? Or, hey, I'm going through a difficult time. What are some alternative things we could do? Right. Whatever the case is. But the point is, it's not that devastating.
Right.
Okay. Good.
Right. Yeah. And just, I'll kind of piggyback off that. With that being said, right, like you're not going to, and you might, like, again, for periods of time, maybe when you first get married, that honeymoon phase, you're like, like rabbits, right? Right.
And if you're young, you might be rabbits for a long time.
Right. And here's the thing though. One, if you don't like the way it's going, it's kind of like the weather in the Midwest. Just give it some time. It'll change. Yeah,
that's true.
Stay committed. It'll change. And then fellas, I think if you're young in a relationship, you may not know this. And as you get older, for you older guys, you know this, our sex drives, men and women, are a little bit different, right? Like you hear all the time that women are peaking sexually in their 40s. Men are peaking in their 20s, like early 20s to late 20s, right? Somewhere in their 20s. So if we get together when we're 20, I want it all the time, right? We're both young. We hit the 30s, and I'm like, yo, chill out, like, and then we're kind of both going back and forth, like through the 30s, and then all of a sudden in the 40s, you're like, whoo, going crazy, and I'm like, yo, I really just want to sit down, like, no, not tonight. I got a headache. You know what I mean? And I'm not 40, but I'm just saying, like, this.
You don't know yet.
I don't know, right? But this is what I've heard, right? Is that our sex drives are going in opposite directions at some point. And I think that might play into it as well. And fellas, like, again, most of us nobody tells you that. Nobody talks about that really. I mean, we hear all the time, we talk like the terms of cougars and, older women who are more like sexually active.
Oh, right.
But nobody, and here's the thing. Why is she a cougar? She's older and she's hooking up with younger guys because their sex drives align, right? Like 20-year-old dude, 40-year-old woman, right? So in your relationship, just understand that it's got peaks and valleys, that sex thing is going to go up and down. It is not indicative necessarily of how that person feels about you, how you look, or, whatever, right? I think the other parts that you mentioned, the intimacy parts, are important to keep going to nurture and to uphold and hug and kiss and share things that you like about each other and appreciation and all those things are important. And then sex is like the icing on the cake.
Right.
And I know for some people it's a deal breaker. But I think you have to understand your situation, understand why it's not happening. Maybe have the conversation before you think, oh man, we got married. We should be having sex all the time. She'll never want to have sex with me. She's always tired. Like she probably legitimately is tired, dog. Like, you know what I mean?
Like she might be
just a few months ago, right? Just a few years ago or however long it is. She was madly in love with you and you're having sex all the time. Like, unless you dramatically changed, in which case you need to do some work.
Right.
It's probably still the same feeling. So it's not about you. It's more about what, how you can help her and support her and what she's going through or vice versa.
Right. However, usually it might not be that, right? It might just be life. But there are times where there are actually, things happening in the relationship. And that's why you need to figure it out and address it. So not like, oh, it's some huge problem. Oh my God, we're not having sex every day. Or, oh my gosh, we're not going to have sex every day. That's crazy. But just like, okay, what's going on? Let's talk about it. Let's figure this out. Right. And work through it. If there is an issue, if it's not an issue, even being tired though, because I do talk to people about, well, how are you using your time?
Right.
Because it's okay to be tired.
You got to schedule that 5 minutes in there.
Okay. No. No. Okay. I mean, well, sometimes, but then obviously you need to not be tired so you can have a full session. Okay. And that's my point, right? Like that you have to look at, because I said not every day, but if it's like long periods of time without it and there's other reasons for it, whether there's an issue you need to address or something going on with you individually, you still need to address that, right? That's why we said look within. So if you're going through something, if your relationship's at work, if you are taking new medication, whatever you're doing, like what are you also doing to figure out, okay, how can I still make sure this is a part of our lives and our relationship, right?
Right. Even
if you're tired, tired every day, that's, well, how are you using your time, or what else is going on, or how can you help with something so that they're less tired, so then they're ready to do that, right? It still needs to be something worked out. There's no excuse for not at all, right? But I'm saying the reality of marriage is not going to happen all the time so consistently as when you're dating. And that's, something people need to be ready for and be okay with.
Right. Yeah. I think it's your turn, but
I'm pretty sure that was mine. That was 100% mine. We could roll this back. I don't know if we really can.
No, we cannot roll it back. You know what people don't tell you? And maybe they do a little bit here and there, but they don't tell you, when you get married, you're still dating. You are 100% still dating. Like you are just dating with rings. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're dating knowing you're going to take her home. You know what I mean? Like prior to that, like you're like, oh man, I hope at the end of the night I can, get some action or we can go home. But now you're dating knowing that when you go home, well, maybe depending on where you're at in the cycle that we just talked about, but 9 times out of 10, if the date goes well,
right,
you know what's going to happen. But you're definitely still dating. You are definitely trying to continue to woo that person. You're still trying to impress them somewhat, like not impress in that way, but like have a good time with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like go out and still be charming and still be chivalrous, something. And still trying to like very much have them fall in love with you over and over again. Right. As opposed to like, okay, I'm married now. And so I ain't got to do all that stuff no more. Like I'm done. Like I'm cool. This is it. Let's wrap it up. No, but I think a lot of people feel that way. It's like, look, I got you.
Right.
We're together. I've committed to you. We're going to spend the rest of our lives together. And now we just watch Netflix.
So take what you get
and chill.
Right.
And that's our date. And I think that can potentially be a downfall for your relationship and is a downfall for a lot of people's relationships.
Yeah, you should have fun together and enjoy each other. And not to say that Netflix and chilling is not fun. That is. Or sometimes there's going to be periods and stages of your marriage where you can only do that, especially if you have kids. I keep bringing up kids. If you have a babysitter, you have newborns or whatever the case is, you should still try and get out though. Everyone has somebody that can help. But yeah. So basically, yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
I think one thing to remember, fellas, is to always think the way you got her is the way you keep her. And if you were taking her on dates and you're having fun and you're being charming and you're laughing and you're joking and all the things that you do on dates, you go out and you have fun, you go to see new places, you do new things, you go dancing, you go watch movies, like all of those things that you do played a part in her falling in love with you, to her saying yes when you got down on one knee, to her walking down the aisle and not, getting cold feet. So if those are the things that it took to get her in, then those are the things that help her stay. And so we have to kind of continue to make sure we are dating.
Yeah, keep the romance.
Yeah.
And the reality, though, is if you're dating someone and they aren't doing things and you aren't having fun or you aren't doing the things that you'd like to do or they don't want to try new things or whatever the case is, don't be so shocked when the same thing is happening when you're married, right? Like people are showing you at least some level of who they are. So, you need to take that into account if you're someone who enjoys, dating and going out and all that. But, a lot of times people are dating and I just hear women say like, oh yeah, he doesn't take me anywhere. We just go to his house or go to my house and hook up and that's it. I'm like,
and that's why they expect sex every day. Every time we're together, that's what's happening.
It's somebody's house.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would be fair to expect that if our relationship is we go to your house, we watch Netflix, and we chill. Okay, we've done that for a little while, and I kind of like you, and I really don't want to chill with nobody else, and so let's get married. Like I'm not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. We should save money on rent and then we live together, and then we get together.
That sounds like a terrible reason to get married.
But it's happening.
I know.
It's happening, and then so then we get married and we move in.
Money on rent is the reason.
Oh yeah, no. There's other reasons, right? Anyway, so then you get together and get married, and we're like, hey, look, wait a minute, we just watched the episode. Like, what happened? Like,
and they're like, haha, nope, you need to start dating me and taking me out.
Right? You can't surprise them either way.
Surprise.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Don't expect somebody to do something different when you didn't expect them to do it before you got married.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, final. You give me your last one.
No, I can't think of anything.
You don't have to be last, but give me your last one.
No, I just said I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything good. Oh, okay, you go.
You gotta have something funny. Nothing?
Something
just drawing a blank. It doesn't have to be funny, but I mean, if you have something.
Wow. This is a lovely podcast.
Yeah, no, you know what?
You know what
you know what they don't tell you about your wife is that her temperature is wrong pretty much all the time. Like when it's cold, she's hot. When it's hot, she's cold. Like it's really weird. Their thermostats aren't wired correctly. And if you have kids, especially girls, you're going to have an abundance of blankets in your house for no reason. Like people are going to be freezing when it's hot. They're going to be like, you love them for it, but there's something wrong with them. Maybe they're cold-blooded, they're amphibious or something. Like they're not of the same planet as us. Nobody tells you this, right? Like you see like your dad always changing the thermostat, fellas, and you're like, well, Dad, why are you always messing with that? Because your mother, her temperature is wrong. Like,
hey, always keep a jacket and a blanket in your car.
Yeah. You are always going to have a jacket or a blanket because wherever you go, you're never going to be able to roll down a window and get any fresh air because it's going to be too much. It's going to be too cold on her or something.
Or too windy for your hair.
Yeah, it's too windy. Your hair's blowing all over the place. Like, come on, man. They don't tell you that, though. You are now in climate control.
Oh, my gosh. So my thing, I don't know if it's as funny as yours, but I would say the thing that most people don't tell you, I mean, they tell you in ways, but basically is you are marrying, you're marrying the person that you're with, but you also are becoming a part of this other family, like these other people in their lives, important people. Yeah. And not even just, in-laws, but just their whole family. So, it's important that you are aware that, some people may be very, very close to their family and some people may be distant. Right. And so you need to know, how does that work for you? How are you going to navigate all of that? And just know that you're going to be a part of a whole other package.
Right.
Right. It's not just going to be that person.
Right.
And so you do need to consider, right? Like, how are all these other people going to fit into now your joint life? Well, and not like a takeover kind of thing, but just, okay, are we going to go visit your parents for this holiday? My parents for this holiday? Are we trying to integrate people? Like, what are we going to do? Right. Or do these people even like me, or do they have issues with me, or, or these people might be like my, best friends, right? Your mom is amazing, your dad's amazing, and I'm so lucky to be a part of all of that, right? Like, and so embracing that, and then, but still that comes with navigating your family, their family, like all these different people and all these different, like, what are we going to do? Did we see these people enough versus these people? Like,
somebody gonna feel some type of way,
right? It's a lot to navigate, but you have to remember it's a whole package, and be understanding of that. Like, you're not going to talk to your family the same way I talk to my family, or we're not going to, do things in the same way, and that's okay. So you're accepting, right? This whole other dynamic that you have nothing to do with. It's not part of you.
That's a good one. I think that's really cool. I mean, that's a really, really key point is.
Wait, did I do it wrong?
I think you're supposed to pat yourself on the back. I don't think there was any haters here. Getting the dirt off your shoulder. I don't know if that's the right shoulder move.
I'm old. That was the old moment. That was it.
Pat on the back there.
Oh yeah, I did want to pat myself in the back.
Yeah. So anyway.
Sorry, I'm being silly.
No, but I think that's a really good point, is when you're marrying someone, you are also marrying their family.
In a way. Yeah.
In a way, like, you're not marrying them like we're super tight in, but there's things that you may not know about a person and their family until you get together, right? Especially if you're in a situation where you guys don't live together prior to getting married. Like, you may not know that his family just pops up over the house.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they just show up.
Yeah, you
and
gotta have boundaries.
Then you guys are together and they just show up and you're like, your mom's here. Yeah. Like, and those are things that you need to talk about and understand. And like, fellas, you need to let her know, the crazy uncle in your family, or the crazy cousin, the people that they shouldn't be hanging out with, those kind of people. Yeah. And vice versa, right? You should obviously let me know your crazy aunts or whatever, right? I think that's it, man. I think we should wrap it up. What they don't tell you is that you had to wrap up the episode.
Right. Right. We'll come back to this. We'll think of some more and actually have them maybe written down this time. But thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're glad that you guys are rocking with us early, getting in here early, getting these episodes. And we're having fun with it, so we're gonna keep running with it. So I guess we got to do like some housekeeping stuff, right? Yeah, where you can find us. You can find us on Instagram at We Need to Talk Cast, because we are the cast of We Need to Talk. You can email us at the very same email, we need to talk cast@gmail.com. You can find me personally at Forfeit Fatherhood on Instagram and on Twitter, as well as You Can Call Me Coach. The letter You Can Call Me Coach on both Instagram and Twitter. I'm all on the socials, so I mean, you'll find me somewhere.
You will.
And then Ari, you can find on Instagram at Your Happy Living Solutions, all one word, one long word.
You can find me sometimes there. No,
mostly on Instagram. Aria is not a social media. Not that she's not a social media person. She's just not into social media as much as I am.
Yes.
She is still sharing pictures of kids and cats and stuff.
You will be well entertained with it.
Yeah, she's still grandma social media. Yeah, she's still keeping up with the family and sending messages. You know, she's early Facebook kind of social media.
I am.
I'm still not. I'm not like Snapchat because that's almost gone now, right? I'm kind of like I'm getting into TikTok. I feel like I'm really old saying that, but getting into TikTok, kind of getting the feel of TikTok. But I'm still a meta kind of guy, you know, Facebook and Instagram. Anyway,
meta guy. Wait,
didn't that mean something? No, it was Metro. That's what it was. Metro.
Oh, Metro.
Yeah, Metro. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you for joining us for an episode of We Need to Talk About. And I'm glad that we got to talk about it. And now you guys go talk about it. And we will see you next time.
All right. Bye.